there may be some few new devotees. Swami Nikhilanand Ji was born in Canada and was attracted to the teachings of Hinduism from a very young age. Living at Radha Madhav Dham, which is the main ashram of Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad in the West, he learned the philosophy of our prime scriptures under the direct guidance of Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj. He became a sannyasi preacher in the year 2003, and since then he has been traveling throughout the east and west coast of United States, giving lecture series, conducting devotional retreats. His lectures reveal the deepest aspect of the philosophy as described in our Hindu scriptures, and his practical teaching coupled with inspired chanting of Sanskrit shlokas and charming Nam Sankirtan are helping common people to awaken their love for Radha Krishna. I request all of you to please listen to his discourse very attentively, and please shut off your cell phones. And now, as a token of our respect, I request Raghavendra to offer a garland to Bhaiya.
Prapannaham sada shyama guru tasya preranaya tasya divyadesham vadamyaham darparnamarjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreya Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्मोह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये. Dear devotees, please join me in a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan. After that, I'll introduce our intensive for the next couple of weeks. Krishna. Bhajo giridhar Govind Gopala. 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 Bhajo murali manohar nandlala. 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 Bhajo murali Nadan Bihari Lal Ki. Radhe Radhe everyone, and welcome to our summer sadhana Shivir. We're all here in the ashram of Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Ji Maharaj, which is like a specialized hospital for people with mental issues. All of us come in that category. After God realization, only then a person could claim not to have any mental problems. But up until God realization, since we are under Maya, by the very nature of our mind, things like anger, jealousy, hatred, stress, these are all intrinsic to a Mayic mind. It comes with it automatically. If you have a Mayic mind, you have all of these things. You may have some in a higher degree and others at a lower intensity, but we all have all the mental problems. And we've come here to get treatment. This is a specialized hospital of a great Mahapurush. Our mind is constantly active. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakrit. We're thinking something every moment. And we've been thinking something every moment for infinite lifetimes. And all of that has created an immense reservoir of impurity in the mind. And that adds to, so the mind is already Mayic, so it has all those problems inborn. And we add to that all the impurities of infinite past lifetimes of thinking, of doing karma. Because if we're honest with ourselves, the great majority of our thoughts and karma is adding impurity to our mind. It's not purifying our mind. Shri Krishna has said, Vishaya vinivartante. Vishaya. If our mind is attached in the objects of the senses, then it's just going to develop more and more Mayic impurity. If our mind is dwelling upon Mayic things, if our mind is yearning for, hankering for Mayic things, then we develop more Mayic attachment, and the Mayic qualities that we're trying to cure become more intense. Vishayan dhyayataschitam vishayeshu vishajjate mamanusmarataschitam mayyeva praviliyate. Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna says, indulge your mind in thinking about worldly things, and you'll take on more Mayic impurities. You'll become more immersed in Maya. This is what we've done since eternity. And this is why our mind is in the state it is in, where we're unable to control it. We're unable to make it do what we want. And instead, it makes us do what it wants. Hamara man humko nacha dalta hai. It makes us dance according to its tune. So this is the state of our mind. But don't worry, we're in good company. Not only all of us share these same problems, even Arjun complained of the same. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. In the Gita, Arjun complained to Shri Krishna that I can't control my mind. You tell me to attach it to you, That was the second half of the Bhagavat shlok that I quoted to you. Krishna says, if you attach it in the world, then you take on more mayic impurity. If you attach it to me, your mind gets purified. So Arjun says, how can I attach it to you? I can't control it. I can't make it do what I want. It would be easier to control the wind than this fickle mind, fickle and powerful mind of mine. So Shri Krishna agreed that the mind is difficult to control. Asanshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. The mind is durnigraha, difficult to control, but not anigraha. It's not impossible. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Shri Krishna's answer to Arjun is the same treatment we've come here to receive. Abhyas, practice. If we practice correctly, in other words, if we adopt the path of bhakti with the guidance and protection of a true guru, then with the grace of that guru, as we follow the path of bhakti prescribed by him, our mind will start to be cured of its mayic illnesses. So Shri Krishna told Arjun, practice. And that is exactly what we've come here to do. See, this is a specialized hospital, and here we receive intensive care. We're not outpatients, right? We've come here to stay. We're all inpatients, and not any kind of inpatients. We're all in the intensive care ward because we've come here for an intensive. And that care that we've come here to receive is prescribed and given to us by Sri Maharaj. So he prescribes this is what you should do while you're here. And then the actual medicine, see, if we follow his prescription, we follow his instructions, the medicine we get is given by him in the form of grace. It's his grace that cures us, but we can only receive that grace if we follow his instructions. And his prescription for us is very simple. Number one, practice. And that practice, while you're here, you can think of it just twofold. When you're here in the hall, you're practicing Rup Dhyan. When we're doing Kirtan, which is most of the time when we're here in the hall, other than when you're listening to a lecture or watching a video, which is only a couple times a day, the rest of the time we're doing Kirtan, and that Kirtan is meant to facilitate our Rup Dhyan. We're meant to first bring Radha Krishna and Shri Maharaj in front of us. Feel that they're really here with us, and then start doing Kirtan. We can do Milan style of Rup Dhyan, where we're actually visualizing the form of Radha Krishna or the form of Maharaj in front of us. Whichever is easier for you. One day it might be Radha, one day it might be Krishna, one day it might be Maharaj, one day it might be all three together. Whatever your mind is finding easy, as long as you have it in your mind that Radha Krishna are one, and Maharaj is one with Radha Krishna, then meditate on any one of them, and you'll get the desired results. So you can do Milan style, where you're seeing them before you, or you're using all five of your senses, your sense of smell, hearing, taste, touch, and of course sight, to experience their actual closeness and presence with you. And then you can bring that into whatever words of the kirtan that we're singing. Along with that, it may be a lila or a description of their decorations. Whatever it may be, you can start with that Milan style of Rup Dhyan. Or you could do Viraha style of Rup Dhyan, where you say to yourself, why have I not met Radha Krishna yet? Why can I not see Shree Maharaj Ji? When will they come to me? Develop that yearning. Feel your desire and your need to meet them. And feel the humbleness that comes with asking for their vision. But along with that humbleness should be a confidence. Viraha is not a sadness. It's a sweet longing that has a total confidence that I am going to meet them. Right now, they're just about to come. That is Viraha style of meditation. So practice Rup Dhyan. That is one aspect of the practice. The other aspect is when you're not in the hall. Then we're supposed to be practicing Radhe breathing. Radhe breathing we'll practice a little bit this evening when we have the Atma Nirikshan session, just after the orientation. But Radhe breathing is what Maharaj Ji instructed us to do whenever we have a mental break. Whenever you're not engaged in performing some task, you may be driving, you may be walking, you may be eating, whatever it may be, you can do Radhe breathing, where you inhale and silently say Ra, and you exhale as you say Dhe. Not out loud, just in your heart you say it. These two simple things are our prescribed treatment. Do Rup Dhyan while in the hall. Do Radhe breathing while outside the hall. During the Atma Nirikshan sessions, that means self-analysis or introspection, we'll be having 15 minutes of this introspection every night in the evening. You'll be encouraged to analyze your effort. Not so much your success, but your effort. How would I rate my effort in practicing Rup Dhyan today? How would I rate my effort in doing Radhe breathing today? And that way, by at least being aware of how much effort we're putting in, we can try to improve day to day while we're here. This is the most important aspect of the treatment. These are Maharajji's instructions to us. Do Rup Dhyan always when doing the Kirtan. We should never do Kirtan without Rup Dhyan. And while not sitting and doing sadhana, if the mind is not engaged in a task, then it should be engaged in doing Radhe breathing. That way, we're training our mind. When you go and see a movie, the images from that movie will keep flashing in your mind for the rest of the day. It's been imprinted on your mind and it keeps coming up in your mind. And that's just passive, right? When you were sitting there watching the movie, those images were being passively imprinted on your mind as you watched. So imagine if you're doing Rup Dhyan, which is active. You're actively imprinting the image of Radha Krishna and Maharaj on your mind with your effort. That is much more powerful. Then you add to that their form is divine and they're omnipresent, so they're there in your mind and you're making that real connection. And the practice of Rup Dhyan is infinite times more powerful than sitting and watching a movie. But the point is, you see the effect of watching a movie because those images stay in your mind for the rest of the day, at least, if not longer. So this Rup Dhyan is very effective, and the Radhe breathing is very effective. I've had people mention in past camps that after 1 or 2 days of practicing Radhe breathing, it becomes automatic. That even without consciously deciding to do Radhe breathing, when the mind gets a moment of space, it automatically starts doing Radhe breathing. So this is also very effective. It shows that we can train our mind within a very short period of time. We've come here to put ourselves in this environment that is conducive to this practice. So let us practice. Just keep 3 things in mind while you're here. Practice, which I just told you. Contribute. That means when you get a chance, do some seva. This is your guru's ashram. Although just by doing the 3rd thing, which is participate, you are also contributing. Participate means follow the schedule. When there's a session, come for the session. Be here in the hall and be here on time. That is participating, but you're also contributing because you're showing the importance. You're showing that you have decided this is important, and that affects the other people around you who see, oh, this person came to the session early. I should also come early next time. So even just by following the schedule, you are contributing, you are doing seva to your guru, just by following the schedule seriously. But in addition to that, if you want to do any other physical seva, it's a great opportunity during the intensive to help out during cooking, during cleaning in the kitchen. We have a seva session every morning for those who want to do outdoor seva. It's a parallel session. There's also kirtan going on in the hall. But for those who would like to do a little bit of outdoor seva, we also have an opportunity for you to do that. The main point is that you should feel in your heart, I want to contribute something. This is Maharaj's Shivir. This is Maharaj's ashram. That feeling should be developed in the heart. So practice, contribute, participate. These are the 3 things to keep in mind. What to do while you're here? Practice. Rup Dhyan and Radhe breathing. Participate means follow the schedule. And contribute. Find a way to do some seva while you're here. Certain sevas are even happening while there's sadhana happening in the hall, and that's okay as well. If you feel that you want to go and help with lunch preparation or some seva that's happening, although we prefer to have more people here in the hall, but we also understand that not everybody can sit for the whole time and do extended sadhana for the whole day. People need different ways to engage their mind in devotion. So it's okay if you do seva as well. To help you track your participation, you're all going to be given journals after the orientation session. And in those journals, we'll be using them during the Atma Nirikshan time. The first thing in there is an attendance tracker. For every session, and we have 10 sessions during the day, you will mark whether you're on time, late, or whether you missed it altogether. So each time, if you're on time for a session, you'll give yourself 1 point. If you're late, you'll get half a point. And if you didn't participate, you get 0. So by the end of the day, the maximum you could get is 10 points. And that way you can track your participation in the intensive. But in that, if you were doing seva during one of the sadhana sessions, you can actually mark that and you can give yourself full attendance marks. So this is our simple treatment, and this is how we're going to track our treatment and our progress during these 2 weeks that we're here. We'll practice, we'll participate, contribute, and we'll track all of our activities and our progress by doing Atma Nirikshan every night and taking some time to write in our journals. The main thing is just know that with Shri Maharaj's grace, even a little bit of effort from us goes a long way. Don't worry. Whatever is happening, whatever is bothering you, you've been through worse. And now you've come here. So this is the time to allow your mind to be free. Whatever is worrying you, whatever you're stressed about, it can wait. Be here while you're here and participate mentally, not just physically, in this intensive. And know that Shri Maharaj Ji is with us, he's watching us, he's gracing us. Our only duty is to do Roop Dhyan and follow Shri Maharaj Ji's instructions. The rest will be taken care of. So we'll talk more about these topics of surrender, Guru, how to do bhakti. These are the topics that will be discussed in detail when you get to hear the lectures from all of our respected pracharaks who are going to be coming and joining us here at the intensive. We already have Panchari Didi and Siddheshwari Didi here with us. So you're going to get to hear from them in the coming days and benefit greatly from their knowledge and what they share and inspire you to do more devotion here at this intensive and be able to, whenever you do go back to your city of residence, that you'll be at a much higher level than when you came here in the beginning. So let us finish with a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that we'll have a short orientation session. Radhe Radhe Govinda Bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda Bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda Bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda Bhajo, 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 Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe 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 Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. Radhe Radhe Govinda bhajo, Radhe Radhe Govinda. बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, श्रीमत सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे. No clapping. You can say, do a jaykar for Maharaj Ji or something. I'd like to ask Chirag to come up and do an orientation session for us now. I just want to add two things that I'm sure he'll cover, but I want to emphasize it. One is that the kirtan finishes at 10:30 and bedtime is 11. Please all stick to this. This is part of the schedule.